Hello Sagittarius and welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your fortnightly reading for August the 16th through to the 31st. So we're still in Leo season, then moving into Virgo season. So the feeling I get for you guys, Saggy, is I got this image of like you shot your bow and arrow. You know, you've got this plan, this dream, this thing that you want to be doing off in the distance. But then it's kind of like, well, where is it and where do I go from now? It almost feels like you're in this space of, you know, what are the next steps? And does it feel like this is actually really happening? Is this just feeling like a distant dream, or can this actually become a reality? And so I feel like it's almost like you got these messages from the universe to start something or to set this goal or whatever this thing is that you've shot into the distance and gone, right, that's where I want to be, or that's what I want to do, or that's who I'm, you know, what I want to achieve or connect with. And then it's almost like it's this big questioning afterwards. Is the energy that's coming through. Now, interestingly, we have as your card this beautiful little fox, Page of Crystals, ideas and discipline. So what it's saying is now's the time to generate a whole heap of ideas and be really open, because this is the equivalent of the Page of Pentacles. So there is something you've got there. You've got something in your hands with the Page of Pentacles. But it's about being like a fox, being really clever with it, working with the ideas, looking at what sort of opportunities are around for it, and just understanding that landscape may shift and change as the journey goes. But at the moment, it's almost like it felt a little bit like you should be heading off on a journey, or you should be starting this a little bit more, and you're getting more messages to kind of sit with something for a while, or to generate some ideas, or to learn more about it, to have this open and curious mind. So the message is saying stick with it. Stick with whatever this is, whatever this dream is that feels like it's a distant dream or point in time. And start working with the ideas, generating the ideas, and yeah, just kind of that's what's coming through with the Page of Crystals. So let's see what is shifting and changing for you. And what I'm kind of getting with this is it doesn't have to be very long periods of times. It could be short little bursts of working at something, and then, it might just be creating a few little, some moments during the day to do this, or a short period of time to be, putting towards this goal. It doesn't have to be like the whole thing at this moment in time. What's shifting and changing are plans, okay, and how you're feeling about everything at this moment in time. So your feelings and your plans, that's all shifting and changing. We've got your ruler Jupiter there in saying Jupiter Aries, Wand 4 and Cup Ace Water. So as a lot of you know, Jupiter is actually in Aries at this moment in time, which is nice because it's a fire energy. And so it's going to be trining your energy because it's a fire energy, and the Leo energy we're in at the moment because it's fire energy. So this is a great time to expand something. The ideas that you're working on or plans that you're working on at this moment in time definitely could expand into something later, but it's a preparation energy at this moment in time. So if you are starting to feel very differently about something and it feels like the plan is sort of shifting and changing, I feel like this is part of the landscape that where we start and where we end are going to be very different places, and it's part of just this ever-shifting landscape at this moment in time. So yeah, it's not saying to be discouraged or to give up. For some of you, this might be that exciting. It could be the opposite, in that exciting new plans could come in. Plans could change in a good way. The Cup Ace is usually the birth of new feelings, but you might be feeling happier. You might be feeling exciting. You might be feeling joy. You might be feeling this is something that could be really deeply healing for you as well, this thing that's expanding and opening here, but it has to start at a point. And so it's almost like you're at that starting point right now. So, and then it can kind of head out in a whole heap of different directions is what I'm getting here with this. So yeah, it's definitely have to kind of trust that what it is that you're starting now or planning or working on now is going to expand and grow, but it may not be, it might not necessarily expand and grow till later on, till next year even, but it is important to be working on it now, if that makes any sense. So, Saggy, this reading is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. Always recommend to watch all three of your placements if you know where they are, because it gives you a full picture of what's going on for you. And this is a general reading, Sagittarius. Just take what feels right and leave the rest. And if it does really resonate and you'd like to delve deeper into it, there will be an extended reading. We have the Ace of Wands. This is the thing, you know, you've shot that arrow. There's something starting, but you're feeling restricted. Yes. But you're still like, you know, how are you going to do this? There's conflict around. Leo actually had the similar card in the same spot. So I feel like the fire signs are possibly going to want to be moving forward. If you have any Leo or Aries in your chart, you might want to watch those readings. Or if you're cross-watching, it's kind of like we want to move forward, but it feels like there's something blocking it potentially or slowing it down. The King of Swords, having a very clear head. The Five of Cups, interesting. So I feel like there's a bigger energy at play here where you're moving on from the past. The Seven of Wands, though. So that's a good energy. That's you. The Hermit energy around you. The Moon, hopes and fears. That's just confusion. And the Four of Wands. Well, I don't think you'd want that. That's where something feels, yeah, it's interesting. And again, the Ten of Cups. So yeah, it's a very similar energy in that it kind of starts at this point of conflict and then it ends with this really nice Four of Wands and Ten of Cups energy. So it shifts and changes the energy here. But if we look at the situation, this is the Ace of Wands. It's like the activation point. Something got activated or something got started. This is motivation to start something new or, you know, new goal, something that's inspiring you. It's like the activation, like I really, really want to be doing this. But you're crossed by the Eight of Swords, which is the card of restrictions or limited ways of thinking or not being able to see how something is possible. It may be somebody else's limited ways of thinking that you're having to kind of work with. It just feels like it can't get off the ground or it can't start whatever this is that this Ace of Wands represents, because it's like I'm feeling inspired, want to do this, and then it's like blur. And where is it? Like I just how do I start, all these sort of things. So you, in your conscious mind, you've got the King of Wands. I feel like this is actually you, because this is like the King of Wands is holding his wand going, right, I've got this idea, I've got this plan, let's just take action with it. And so he's holding the Ace of Wands here going, right, let's move forward, and getting really frustrated that he's coming up against that, the Eight of Swords. So, yeah, it could be a frustrating energy that comes through with it. But the King of Wands ultimately, you know, it's not gender specific, but it's just this energy of the divine masculine, of wanting to take action with something and step into something. So, yeah, and it can be quite, you know, creative. It could be stepping into leadership with something. It could be very magnetic, something you're very passionate about. But that's why I think we've got at the base the Five of Swords, which is conflict. You know, it feels like deep down there's some kind of like you're conflicted inside your mind because you want to start this, but then something is saying no or something is blocking it. And then there's this kind of storm brewing here where it's like, okay, so this is where potentially why your feelings might feel a little bit different. In the recent past, we've got the King of Swords. So there was a clear head and a clear decision with the King of Swords, the King of Air. Like there was a strategy and a plan. And then it kind of feels a little bit like, that energy around that shifting and changing with the King of Swords. So it's like it felt so I was just ready to go. I was clear about it. And then it just feels like, it's not heading in the direction. So the Five of Cups in the near future could be a little bit of disappointment. Like that's just in the sense of something is not moving as fast as you want or moving forward as you want it to do at the moment. But the thing with the Fox energy is that's a really smart energy. It's mercurial, the Fox. It maneuvers around obstacles, problems. It's an opportunist. It sees opportunities when opportunities present or even when opportunities aren't there. It's working smarter, not longer. And it's a quick energy. So it's where your mind is it's very flexible. So the Five of Cups, there might be something that is, disappointing you or upsetting you in the near future that comes in with this. But the Five of Cups can also be where you're just going, right, I need to make a break from the past. It's leaving the past behind. And so strangely enough, it's almost like you need to kind of you're seeing what you need to let go of here emotionally in order to move forward. And so, yeah, I feel like it's almost like this inner resolve that feeling like, okay, this is potentially not moving forward because there's a part of me that's not ready. So if a part of me isn't ready, or someone or something around me isn't ready, I'm going to have a look at this and work out what needs to be cleared in order to get this moving forward. So interesting, because you are presenting as the Seven of Wands, which is you're getting yourself in a better position here. You kind of like bit by bit, you're maneuvering yourself up. I feel like you're leveraging yourself up so you can reach to be that King of Wands. You know, you want to get above the Five of Wands. You want to get above this conflict between the Eight of Swords and the Ace of Wands. You're kind of like climbing up and like, I want to be this king. So this is also like an energy of just wanting to get yourself in a better position. So that's part of the motivation here with what's going on, getting yourself in a better position. Just in general, that goal might mean that, or it's just getting yourself in a better position to move this on and move it into the area or the direction that you want it to go. The Seven of Wands can also be like, I just get that there's sheer effort, sheer grit, sheer effort. And this is part of the discipline of like just sheer will, grit, effort. You're like, I'm not going to, let this kind of keep me down. So that's what the Seven of Wands, and it can be defending the idea, defending the space, because sometimes this Eight of Swords can be where you're like, I've got this thing I want to do or this thing I want to start, and the other person's going, well, I don't see how that's possible. And it's frustrating because it's almost like you might have wanted them to come on board with you or to be excited with you as well. And so that's where it can be a little bit disappointing. But the Seven of Wands is also about where you're just getting stronger inside yourself about what it is that you want, and understanding and trusting yourself with this. Trusting this is a good thing. This is a good idea, that you can see beyond those limitations, that something can be possible. And that's what that Jupiter wand for Aries is doing, is showing you the possibilities. So it's interesting, the energies around you, you have the Hermit. So this is the wise old sage energy. This is the Virgo energy. So we're moving into Virgo season. So it could actually be by the time you get to Virgo season that there's a little bit of, let's just analyze this. Let's just kind of pause and have a think about it. This is a very analytical, wise energy, the Hermit energy. So it may be that, it's like, you need to spend a bit of time thinking about it, or there's someone around you that has a wise head on them that can help you, give you some great advice or help guide you in some way. So the Hermit energy might also feel like you're going back to the drawing board and going, I'm sure there was a path out of here. So let me go back and see. Let me go and sit with this and work it out, because I'm sure. So it is like, you're not necessarily taking no for an answer here in terms of, just wanting to give up on this. And if you get a big no from the universe or a block from the universe in some way, it's kind of like, well, I'm sure I was getting the message that this was right. So maybe I need to start in somewhere different, or maybe there's a different approach, or maybe there's just something I'm missing here. So it's going in with the Hermit energy, and the messages are inside of you at this moment in time. So create some space. Seven of Wands is defending the space, creating the space so that you can have a good look at it and make up your own mind about what's going on here. So hopes and fears, the Moon, that's like the energy of confusion. There's just fear and confusion around, or things just aren't clear with the Moon energy. But it's also about trust your intuition. So, the logical mind might be going, I don't understand this intuitive message. And that's what this Eight of Swords is, and the Five of Swords. But the intuition, the light is guiding you here, the Moon energy. So trust the feeling that you're getting around it. But, the outcome is the Four of Wands, which is this beautiful sense of something comes back into harmony. So if somebody was not on board, because I feel like there's another person here that is kind of just not getting what you want to do, or just not on board for whatever reason, they come back on board. This is the 1111. This is two people coming together and saying, this is what we want. Okay, so, and then we've got the 10 of Cups, which is the card of happiness. So it's almost like you have to be patient to let somebody come on board, or it's like really trust that something's going to come in with the shifting and changing of plans that's going to make something possible, and to trust your feeling with that. So, yeah, really interesting. And I feel like even if this is like, this doesn't have to be a partner, but it can be a partner. It could be a business partner. It could be somebody you're working with. But this could also just be a friend or a family member that you want there alongside as support. And somebody's kind of, it might feel a little bit like the support isn't there at this moment in time and you're doing it all on your own. That's what the Hermit energy is as well, all on your own. But there is somebody there that's coming alongside. They're just slow. They're slow to get there. But when they do, it's like, oh, thank goodness I've missed you. You're back and we're doing this together, or you're by my side and I feel like you're supporting me with this. So that's actually a really nice energy to come through. So there's this lovely sense of coming back together again. And the Four of Wands, you've got that twice coming in, the Four of Wands, which is really fantastic. And the Four of Wands, yeah, it is about planning, but it's also a sense of, this coming together with the Jupiter Aries energy is going to expand that energy, that harmony, that sense of purpose with you and somebody else coming through here. So that's, again, it just feels like it's an ever-changing landscape. Just when you're feeling like, oh, they're not into this, suddenly they are. And then it can grow and be something totally different. And you were like, oh, it's grown bigger than what I was expected, or gone down paths, or become a thing that we've gone down, it's expanded and grown. And so, yeah, it's just expect the unexpected. There's like a little, it's like a meandering path. It's a little journey that it takes you down. And then it's like you get the little pot of gold at the end. So here it is, the 10 of Cups, happiness. Okay. These two people have come back together and there's joy around this, joy and happiness. Now, it doesn't, if you're kind of thinking, well, I don't have anybody and this is not, I'm not relating to having the coming together of the two people. It really is about sitting really deeply with something and working out what it is that you really, really want here with this. And that may be why it hasn't got off the ground in the first place. For some of you, not necessarily for all of you, is the question. The universe is doing this deep questioning, and it often does this when you're about to step into something big. It questions it and says, do you really want this? Because this could be something that expands into something big. And so there's this deep questioning of, do I really want it? You're the Hermit going, do I really want it? And then when the Four of Wands comes in and says, yes, I do know what I really want here. And so then there's the happiness with the 10 of Cups, and then there's the Ace of Cups where you're feeling very differently. You might actually be feeling a lot happier about something because we've got the 5 of Cups in the near future. Maybe you were feeling a little bit like blur about something. So I do feel like you're just going to be feeling very, very differently about where something's heading. You're going to feel like perhaps there's more support, or it is that you truly know what it is that you want here and you've sat with something. And that's what the universe is kind of saying with that Page of Crystals. It's all very early days. It's a page. So it's something small that is yet to mature and ready to develop into something bigger, but it needs to be nurtured right now. It's at a vulnerable stage that needs to be looked after. So, oh, okay. It says, as I say yes to life, life says yes to me. Yes, this is your affirmation card. So, yeah, it's funny because, like I said, it's this deep questioning. Do you really want this? And if your answer is yes, then you're going to get a really big yes back, which is this beautiful rainbow coming in. It says, life mirrors my every thought. As I keep my thoughts positive, life brings to me only good experiences. And that's kind of interesting, isn't it? As I keep my thoughts positive, because, there's this sense here that there's something going on inside either your mind or somebody else's mind that is, not feeling as positive as it could be. Let's just put it that way. So, and it may not be the way you usually think about something, but that's just what's coming through. We have, I love it. Okay, the beautiful treble clef. So it's the higher octave of the music in scale, the musical scale. So when we talk about the higher octaves and lower octaves of energies that are coming in, The higher octave energies are the things like positivity, optimism, connecting to those high vibrational energies where you're connecting into the possibilities of things. Whereas if you're in the lower vibrational energy, it might feel like everything's stuck and blocked and just feeling a bit blur, and that, oh, somebody's not supporting, I'm not feeling that supported by the universe at this moment in time. So it could, what I've been getting a lot, and I got this with the Leo reading as well, is what's happening down on the lower octave is very different to what's happening in the higher octave. So you might have people saying, oh, it's got all this possibility, and you're down here going, well, I can't see it and I don't feel it. So, and it's part of trusting. So they're saying to go up to those higher octaves, connect into what spirit is saying to you and asking of you, and say the yes back. Yes, yes, yes. If you want to, if that's what you really want, you might go, you know what, I don't know if I really do want this. So that's the big question that's being asked with this. And so, yeah, the higher octaves are like coming up to the higher vibrations of spirit. So it can be connecting to the quantum realm of possibilities. It's also higher things like love and all that sort of stuff. So it helps you kind of lift up out of a situation if you're feeling like there's no options, or you've run out of options, or you just can't see something clearly. So that could be really a positive way to do it. And how do you do that? Well, it is about positive thinking, maybe stepping out of a situation and saying, well, okay, there's always, let's just look at it objectively about what's happening here. Sometimes it's like meditation. It can be a mindset thing. So there's a variety of different ways you can connect up to that higher octave energy. And we're always working with both at the same time. It's like using both hands, the divine masculine, feminine, we're using them all at the same time. So again, it is this sense that for some of you, this could be around music, quite literally. If you're working with music is always about frequency as well. So it's about which frequencies are you working with at this moment in time, and how do you get them to work together. And yeah, you might be getting messages through, like, because we've got that moon in that there's been intuitive messages coming in. Maybe you're getting messages coming in through music as well. So that's it, Sagittarius. I'm going to take it over to the extended reading now. So if you would like to leave the reading now, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and make sure you watch your sun, moon and rising, because it gives you the complete picture of what's going on for you. But if you're interested in the extended reading is going to look into this further into the future, because this feels like some kind of mini breakthrough here. It's kind of like this is a bit murky, and then suddenly we land somewhere really positive, which is like I could barely see that coming with this other energy that was here. So that's why it feels like out of the fog comes the light. The fog is lifted. So what's happening, it feels like you've either just said yes and the universe is saying back to you, or this could quite literally be a marriage proposal for some of you. The fact the Four of Wands can be the card of like a marriage energy, but it can definitely be a sense of, okay, either you've said yes to this or someone's coming alongside. You get this sense that the universe is now supporting this. You'll be getting messages around that. So where is it going to take you from here? It's kind of questioned you. Where is it going in the near future and future beyond? Is it going to support you in the next few steps that are ahead? What sort of energy is coming in around that? What sort of people are coming in? There may be some challenges coming in. So we're just going to be looking at all of that, what to expect, as well as just how to work with this energy, because it's interesting energy because it's unclear. There's an uncertainty and something's unclear, and then it clears. And so sometimes walking into that fog is a necessary space to go into, but it's just hard to go into that space. And so we're going to work with the best way to get the potentials of the energy, because you are really quite literally connecting up to that higher octave of potentials and giving an energy frequency of yes back to the universe. So what's the best way to make sure that's a clear yes, that you can get this breakthrough that's happening? And so we're going to look at the best way that you can be working with that energy to get optimum results of it all. And then we're also going to just look at any kind of clarifiers or extra intuitive messages that you need to hear. So that's all in the extended reading. We're just delving into it a lot deeper. So I'd love it if you come over. The link is in the description box below, and I usually pin the link to the comments as well. And yeah, this is where we're leaving each other. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, Sagittarius, and take care.